3 reasons why your life is in shambles. These aren't going to be all the reasons, of course, but for the most part, you could probably dumb it down to one of these main reasons of why your life is in shambles, or it's just out of order, or whatever it is going on in your life probably stems down to one of these. So number one, we're going to start with a heavy hitter, is addiction. For my people that are able to find some type of consistency, and you fall in or you fall back into your addiction of whatever that may be. It might be a drug addiction, popping pills, smoking, drinking. It might be a sexual addiction, a PORN addiction. You're addicted to women, right? It might be a gambling addiction. You're losing all your money, right? Everybody's situation is going to differ a bit for the most part, but there's always a common ground, a common theme behind why things might be out of order. So if you're looking to get your life back on track, one of the first things you got to do is get your addiction in order. And like I said, addiction can be anything. It could be a food addiction, right? Why you out of shape, why you overweight. You might be addicted to an unhealthy physique, and another reason why you might be unhealthy and you know, have just an unhealthy mindset, right? You're not eating enough, not eating the right stuff, whatever that may be, right? Whatever your addiction is, you have to get that in check more times than not first before you start looking at other things and getting those in order. Because if you're addicted, you won't have the clarity of mind to get yourself into a position to where you can start achieving and accomplishing what it is that you set your sights on, right? If you smoking all the time, then how are you going to have the energy to do what it is that you need to do? If you're drinking all the time, right? How are you going to have the energy to get out of that drinking cycle, right? If you drink, you can't burn fat for 72 hours, something like that, 48 hours. So you already set yourself back, right? It's a depressant. So if you don't get your addictions in order, right? If you on the phone looking at explicit videos all the time, you just draining yourself of the energy, your God-given energy to go after what it is that you acquire as hard as possible, right? If you're addicted to women, right? You need to be on a date every week. You got to be talking to a woman all the time. For my fellas that's like that, you got to get out of that, because it's only going to stop the time that you have to work towards your purpose and your goals, right? As men, I'm speaking to my men. As men, we have to have a clear goal in our own minds. It might not be the same as somebody else's, but we have to have our own clear vision and goal that we want to work toward and accomplish. And oftentimes we find more happiness in that, right? Anytime I wasn't working towards something, I didn't have a goal, I had my sights on whatever it may have been, whether it was my TikTok account and I was trying to get that up to 10K, or it was my fitness, I was trying to get down to 180 pounds, or it was my career path, I was trying to secure my first opportunity, secure a couple internships, right? Get my first job. If I didn't have a clear goal for those things and go after it every day, I wouldn't have felt fulfilled. A lot of us are lacking fulfillment because we don't have a purpose that we've set our sights on, and we can't focus wholeheartedly on that purpose with the time that we have, with the daylight that we have, or even the night times that we have, that we're up and awake and alive. We're not able to go after that as hard as possible because we're addicted to whatever that may be. Your addiction might be different, right? If you're trying to get in shape, but you're addicted to sugar and you're addicted to carbs and all that stuff, you're not going to reach your optimal physique because you're addicted. So first and foremost, you have to get your addictions in order, and that requires discipline, right? It requires a profound sense of discipline to be able to say, okay, this is stopping me from reaching my goals. This is stopping me from being the person that I know that I can be and that I desire to be. And I can't let anything get in my way. It's that conviction that you have to push past whatever your addiction may be so that you can live your best life, and the best life that you could possibly live in terms of going after your dreams, your goals, and just overall being happy and being a healthy individual. So you got to get your addictions in order. That's number one. Number two is social media. If you're on social media all the time, constantly comparing yourself, scrolling, you're wasting time, right? If you're on Reels all the time, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Shorts, YouTube Shorts, whatever that may be, especially these short form platforms, but really just social media in general. If you're not using it as an educational tool or, to learn something, it's a waste of your time and your mental space, because all you're doing is seeking instant gratification, looking for that next funny whatever it may be, right? And I'm not somebody that's coming on here saying I don't or haven't done any of this stuff. I do and I have, but I have figured out a way in my life to make it so that I don't have time to be on social media all the time. I don't have time to be scrolling on Reels on these short form platforms and ultimately just wasting my time, right? Social media drains us in a way, and really takes away from real life and the interactions that we can have in real life. And more importantly, like I said, you're comparing yourself. So if you have a goal that you set your sights on, and you're like, okay, I know that I'm good at whatever it may be, X, Y, Z. I know that I'm good at this stuff. And I know, okay, if I do this and I do it consistently, it's possible for me to succeed. Before you're able to even do that, you go look on social media for somebody else that's done it, or somebody else is doing it, and you start comparing yourself. Or even worse, you're in the gym trying to get in shape, trying to get into the best shape possible, and you go on social media to see what somebody else looks like and what somebody else is doing. And it's like, oh, I don't look like that right now. I've been in the gym for a week. I've been in the gym for 2 weeks. I've only been in the gym for 5 days, but I don't look like that. It's discouraging. It takes you off of your goals. And, I could go on and on about this, even with the dating marketplace and on social media. You get to scrolling and you see that girl, you see that guy, and you're like, oh man, she look good, he look good, whatever that may be for you. And you get to fantasize and whatever it may be. Ultimately, it's taking you away from what you need to be focused on. And just like I said with the last point with addiction, if you on there looking for that girl or that guy all the time for their next post, that's another form of addiction. You waiting for that next hit, or you waiting for that next like, whatever that may be for you. All right. So you have to spend less time on social media and more time in the real world, putting your grind to your passion. All right. You gotta put the actual sweat in real life into what it is that you're doing, or the actual mental space into whatever goal you have set for yourself, whether that be educational, whether it be for your business, whatever it may be, so that now you're spending more time doing the right stuff and not just draining hours of your day away by senseless scrolling on social media, because that's all it is. All right. So get off social media. I get off social media very frequently, my personal accounts. I'll be off of Instagram and all that stuff for 2-3 months at a time. Anybody that knows me can attest to this. I go ghost, right? Not because I'm looking for somebody to look for me, but because I know that none of that stuff matters, right? Nobody's really checking or caring if you're doing what you need to do to get to where you want to be at. Nobody's really on there caring about how well you're doing until you're doing well. And for you to do well, look at the successful people. What are they doing? If they're on social media, it's for their business. Straight up. That's it. All right. Or they're figuring out a way that they can make money from it. So, got to get off social media. Stop comparing yourself. Stop wasting your time. The third and final point of why your life is in shambles is because you lack consistency. You might have got your addiction in order, right? You formed that discipline by not being addicted to them sugars or those carbs, right? Or or the sexual addictions that you might have, right? You put the women to the side, you put the men to the side and said, okay, I got to use my weekends now to focus on my goals. I got to use my free time. I can't be on the phone all the time. I got to focus on my goals, right? You might have done that. You might have put the pills down. You might have put the alcohol down, right? You might have put the smoking down, right? So now what's next? You have now got to be consistent in going after whatever it is that you desire. Now that you know, okay, I got, like I said, the addiction out the way. I got a social media. I'm off of social media, really. I'm not wasting my time on there. Now with your newfound discipline and newfound time that you have to rinse and repeat. Because from there, you know what it takes, right? For the most part, we know what it takes. We know what we have to do to be successful and get to where we want to be at. We know that it requires day after day after day after day, right? And again, like I said in one of my most recent videos, it's not about looking for the finish line. It's about saying, okay, I'm in it right now. This is what I have to do on a consistent basis to be like this, and most importantly, stay like this. If you're talking about fitness goals, if you're talking about finances, you got to work, right? You're not just going to work 10 days and get a pension for the rest of your life. No, you got to work that next week. You got to work that next week. Once you get that job, you got to work that next week, right? It's the same mindset. It's the same thing, same mentality. It's, okay, I'm here, and this is what somebody that does this does on a consistent basis. Now, if your goal is to get out that job and level up to the next level, okay, what do I have to do to get there? I might start me a real estate business. I might start me an online business, social media, whatever that may be. I might post videos on YouTube, Instagram, whatever that may be, and do it on a consistent basis. Do it every day. Work on something in that realm every day. If you're not posting every day, thinking the next idea or thinking of what you can do next to make that next best video or make that next best product. And then how can you market it better? And then how do you generate sales? How do you create those funnels? It's then doing it, setting up those systems for consistency, and then being consistent. Because, okay, yeah, it's cool if you know, after 5 or 7 days I can lose 2 pounds, but you're 260 pounds or 240 pounds like I was, maybe 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", whatever that may be, overweight regardless, whatever that is. And okay, yeah, you lost those 2 pounds that week, or you lost those 5 pounds that week, but what about the next week to get to your goals? What about the week after that? You don't just work for 1 week and then everything comes to you. It doesn't work like that. You consistently do it on a consistent basis, consistently, right? And you'll see the progress slowly coming, and you'll see the changes slowly coming. You'll start seeing that you're getting better at whatever it is that you're doing. You'll start seeing yourself get slimmer, start fitting into different clothes, smaller clothes. But it comes with a level of consistency. It comes with putting your addictions to the side so that you can be disciplined. It comes with getting off social media for a bit, or monitoring better your social media time, what you're doing with your time, right? Oh yeah, I want to get this certification so I can make this type of money, but you're not putting any studying toward it. You're not putting any time towards your study, towards your craft. Yeah, I want to start this online business, but you're not putting the time toward it. You're not investing whatever income you have or whatever money you have to the side into learning that skill better. You'd rather spend money on your addictions than spend money on your purpose. So that's 3 reasons why your life is in shambles. You got to get the addictions in order. You have to get your social media time and use in order, and your perspective about that. You got to get that in order. And then You have to be consistent once you've formulated those habits. Or once you realize what habits you have to formulate, be consistent with that. And from there, everything else will follow suit. All that being said, man, that's the end of this video, and I'm out.